everyone, Karen the Warp Spinster here. Welcome to my channel and thank you for spending time with me today. I want to apologize ahead of time. My neighbors are having some work done in the backyard and there are trucks backing up and dumping stuff and loading stuff, and they seem to be quiet for the moment until they come back with their next load of dirt. So I will try to do this in between all of the noise there. I want to do some black and white today, but I want to do something fairly simple. That's just where I'm at today. So what I have in mind is a set of wonky stairs, sort of in profile. So it's just going to be narrow strips that are going up in a stair step fashion. And I mean, they are going to be perfectly aligned like steps, but it's going to be that sort of effect. Pretty simple, but it may be the start of something else, maybe its own minimalist piece. I don't know. I do have some thoughts for just a little bit of embellishment in addition to that. So I have pulled out some black and white things in my stash. It would probably be easier to do this in one strip that I subcut, but I am trying to use up some of this that I have in my blacks and whites drawer. So the first thing I'm going to do is just cut. They're going to be narrow black strips on a white background. And so I'm just going to put some of those together, and when we'll start looking at how I'm going to fill in on the sides and whatever. So let me just do a few strips to begin with. This is the general idea of what I want to do. I think that the risers are probably too long. I think the treads are okay, and some may be straight and some may be crooked. I don't know yet. And they don't have to be the same length, so I can do that after I sew on some white strips there. These would be precarious steps to walk on for sure. I'm thinking this may be just too large. The strip's too long all around. I have some shorter strips over there now I can use for something or other, unknown at this point. Okay, now, sometimes you just don't know until you put them out. And it's misleading. I don't want them to look this wide, but of course they've got 1/4-inch seams coming out of them yet. And these don't necessarily have to match up, although I do want them to look more like steps and less like a zigzag. And so actually the treads could come out over the risers, couldn't they? All right, that's the general idea. Now I need to start adding some white strips. And to think about this, I'm going to want a white strip along here, but not one up here associated with this one. These need to be connected so that the white strips then on this one, it's going to have to be a wide one on the sides here. And then this one's going to have to be just wide on the sides here, etc., etc. So I will add those, keeping in mind that these are going to have to cover this amount of real estate, and I'll probably go a couple more risers up. And I want to add a little more interest, some of which will be coming after I get it pieced, but I also want to add some other things. I don't know, of course, how this is going to turn out. I never do, and we may like it, we may not. So off to add on some white strips here, paying attention to where these are in the whole scheme of things. I think I will add at least one more riser and step up here. Maybe another riser over here, just for the first step. All right, we'll see how that goes. All right, one set of strips finished. Now I need to put on these strips, and I'll kind of be anxious to see how narrow they start getting. And then after I put those on, I have one more step before I start putting it together. It's almost looking to me like I need another set in here. So before I go further, I may do another set of steps just to see how it looks. Cut out a few more black strips and see if I want to add something. Oh, you know what? No, I don't think I will. This was my original plan. I'm going to do it. Just had another thought about what I could do. So I'm going to proceed with putting the white fillers in here. I started putting these together, and then I realized I need to rip this back to here because there's a little bit of embellishment that I want to put on the front end of the risers. I think I want it to be the front end. Do I want it to be the front end or the back end? In my brain, it's the front end. So I'm going to rip this back, and then I'll show you what I've decided to do with them. I really can't see this when it's laid down, but I added a couple lines of stitching there. One is like a double stitch, and the other just a single stitch, just to add a little bit of color to the equation. There will be more forthcoming. And, oops, I just need to move that into the right place. And so then I need to do the same thing here and add on these white pieces, do the double stitching here before I add this on, or the next strip on. So I will just continue doing that. Sometimes I'll do one of these, sometimes I'll do two, sometimes I'll do three. This is purposely crooked, so it will be horizontal here at the bottom, and then it's going to be a little wonky wobbly going up. These stitches are almost, I don't know, they're off enough that they're bugging me a little bit, but we'll see. I may end up taking them out and redoing them or not. Okay, so I will continue to do that. I have pieced one side of these because this is where the red stitching is going to be, and I have left room on the top and the bottom because this is where the angles are going to happen if I want the treads to angle. You'll see these are straight across, but if I want an angle introduced, then it's going to be in these pieces next to the treads, or the risers. So I'm going to do the stitching here. I have some tearaway stabilizer I will put under it, and I don't know, I might do 3 here, 1 somewhere else, I don't know yet, but just randomly. And I know I usually do 3 things, but oh well. The riser pieces, or the riser stitching, has been finished. I've added on the other side of the riser pieces, and now I am ready to cut them to whatever sort of angle I want within the bounds of what I've allowed here. All right, this one is actually angling that way, so I probably want this one to either be straight or angled a bit that way. And I want this to still be under this tread here. Zoom in. And then this one will, once I put these together and get the angle right, then I'll work on that one, etc., etc. And work my way up. And Not sure what I'm doing at the top. I think the bottom is okay here. And of course, all of this will get trimmed to a better size. So I'm going to go find my long ruler and start angling these and putting them together. Some of them may actually be straight. Go figure. I have decided that I'm going to name this Watch Your Step. That may be about all the progress I've made. All right, I got it trimmed up. I've got plenty up here, should I wish to trim it any more. And I've got a little bit more I can do on the sides as well. You knew it was coming. I have some circles. I cut out circles of various things. And I started out with something like this, which, you know, isn't horrible, but it also, I think the pieces are too big. And I thought I wanted to layer, and maybe I still do. I don't know. I'll have to sit on this for a little while. But I tried various combinations of things. And I don't know, not crazy about them. I mean, I like them, but I don't know in this composition if I do or not. Although if I stand back further, frankly, I like them better. So then I cut out some smaller circles, and actually I haven't tried them stacked 3 up. They're looking a little more like eyeballs, but maybe that's when they're watching their step or not watching their step, as the case may be. I don't know. That might have some merit to it. But I also, if I'm going to stay with the more minimalist theme, then I could do just small white circles. There was a third one here somewhere, which has escaped. Oh, there it is. And I kind of like that because it's pretty minimalist, and this whole thing is pretty minimalist. So I rather like that. I tried swapping out a red one, and that's not bad either. I have so many threads hanging out here. So I don't know. I think if I did that, I would want to cut some more off here maybe, because yeah, I think I'd want a little more off each side. And I think that might do it. I really just like the minimalist. And these are just just a hand improv cut circle. And you know how bad I am at circles, so I would make better ones. And I don't know, I'm pretty sure I don't want that in the center one. Maybe at the bottom? No, I like it at the top. Don't know why, but I like it at the top. So I think that might be it, aside from trimming this a little bit. It is very minimalist, so if minimalist is not your thing, it's not going to appeal to you. But I kind of like it. And it does match fairly well, for once, with what's in my brain. So I think I'm happy with that. Let me know what you think about the circles, what you would do. I haven't made a decision yet, but I'm leaning heavily toward this. So let me know. Next week, have a couple of possibilities, but I don't know for sure, as usual. And sorry, I'm a little absent-minded today, I guess, for whatever reason. So next week, I will probably do something more with black and white. Well, not necessarily. I don't know. I'll just flat out say I don't know. But in any case, if I haven't thoroughly discouraged you this week, I hope that I will see you next week. In the meantime, be well, be safe, be happy, be quilting. Peace out. And watch your step. And wear sunscreen. A quick update. This is how I designed this and how we pieced it and how we left it. But as I was looking at the photo of it, which is always helpful to me, it gives me a little bit of distance on the whole thing and perspective. And it actually was turned this way in the photo. And I realized I liked that better. And I tried rotating it so that it went a different direction. Well, that's the original direction. And then how about if it went that way, but I didn't want the circles and the stitching on top. That just didn't look right at all, mainly because it was the opposite in my head, I think. But somehow that looked right. So this is where I'm going to go with it, I think. It can still be watch your step. And then I'm going to be working out how I want to quilt this, and I'll do it on my domestic machine, and I'm hoping that I'll get to that this week. So I'll try to give you an update when I get there. Peace out.